All right, welcome, folks. Muspek Osmoky. Hey, listen, I told you we were going to do a part 2 of this. Now, this one we're going to cover the inside of your house. What do you do when an intruder gets in? How do you defend yourself? What's your best guns choices for in the house? We just get into a bunch of different topics. But again, today I have my favorite security guy, Ben Redus. And now, for those that don't know about Ben, I failed to tell you about his background and qualifications in the last round. But Ben is basically, he's a high-speed dude. Okay, he has got he was a sniper, combat sniper, U.S. Army, and he is on the list, as they will say. But he's also been training SWAT teams and been a SWAT team member with a very large department for quite some time. And if there's anybody better to walk us through the do's and don'ts on home security, it's definitely this guy right here. So, Ben, brother, welcome to the show once again. Good to have you, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you much. Honored to be here.
Absolutely, man. So let's kind of get into it, man. This
Yeah.
is the fun stuff that I like to talk about because it's you start talking about weapons, you start talking about, different scenarios that could take shape inside a home and how you defend yourself. So first up, what's from a home defense perspective, what
Yeah.
are your gun recommendations? What do you think are what's the do's and don'ts?
Sure. So my personal fave, there's a lot of options, don't get me wrong. It's got to come down to what you as an individual shooter are going to be most proficient with. My personal fave is a 12 gauge shotgun. I have a pump action shotgun that sits very close to my side of the bed.
Yeah.
It's loaded with double aught buck, and that's how it's always gonna be. It's always gonna be at arm's reach for that. In the middle of the night, I get woken up by my dogs and something's going on.
Yeah.
So
Now, let me ask you a question because I know we talked about this a little bit the other day. Recommendation. Now, I'm not trying to from a OPSEC perspective. I'm not. I'm just asking the general question for anybody that's out there.
sure.
Racked or unracked when it comes to your shotgun, because I know that racking, just chambering one, will certainly get an intruder's attention very quickly. But it takes away seconds. Do you keep one already racked? You ready to roll? What's what do you think?
Sure. My personal layout for that, or personal way I have it, is there's nothing in the chamber, so it's an
Okay.
empty. The way this particular shotgun works, you pull the trigger, you rack it, that audible noise. If
Yes.
someone's in my house,
Yes.
that trigger bang,
Yeah.
and it's going to load a hot round.
Yeah.
That's
And
how I have
okay.
it. Two reasons on that. Having a loaded, a loaded gun sitting there day in day out is just not. It's not a safe way to. In my mind, it's not a safe way to handle or have that weapon stowed.
Okay.
And secondly, that audible recognition is completely understood. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if it's dark inside, which it's always dark in my house at night, obviously, and someone breaking into my house hears that,
Yeah.
if they continue forward, that means that they are intent on doing me or someone in my house harm. So
Gotcha.
if they've heard that, hey, I have a weapon, and they don't immediately leave, that they're there for some type of harm towards me
Okay.
or
Gotcha.
my.
Yeah. Now, do you just like a police officer would do if they came into your house, so you don't accidentally, shoot somebody that you're not supposed to?
Sure.
Do you announce, hey, I've got a weapon? Do you let them know that you have a weapon? Are you saying
Inside,
that's
yeah, inside my house, no.
okay?
No, not personally.
Okay.
Um, like I say, if they're inside my house and they have heard that, that tells me, and again, I would be the one sitting on the stand with a jury of my peers explaining this, where I was mentally when this all happened. So I'm going
Okay.
to be, that's like I said, that's where it's coming from. I would feel confident sitting on that stand, telling a jury and a judge that I racked this weapon inside my own home,
Yeah.
kept coming at me. So I defended myself
Yeah.
inside my.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
was
states, you
comfortable.
got you got castle doctrine. I know in Texas and in Florida, there's a lot of states that have that. A lot that don't as well. But
Yeah.
okay. So we talked shotgun. once somebody, so say somebody comes into the house, what other weapons would you say probably not a good choice, just because it has the ability to travel through walls, and you could have some collateral damage either with family members, pets, neighbors, whatever it may be. Something like a high velocity round, you probably don't want to go
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Sure. Don't get me wrong. I love the AR platform. I love the 5.56 223. I love that round. It's very effective. It's lightweight. It's got a really good punch. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but I do
Yeah.
not like it for a home defense situation. It has the potential to over penetrate,
Okay.
um, and it could cause damage that I don't intend on causing.
Yeah.
Uh, After I've hit my intended target.
Right.
Uh, in the same way with a 9 mil. They're very fast rounds. They're very effective,
Yeah.
but the over penetration is an area of concern inside my house. Okay,
Yeah.
most of the pistols I have are 9 millimeter,
Yeah.
and if I have to use it, I will. But it's not my first choice for inside a home, without a
Gotcha.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know air marshals will use a 9 mil, but they've got what they call that blue tip or something, and it keeps it from actually punching through the fuselage of the aircraft. Right.
Mm,
And you could probably do something like that in your house, but those bullets are very, very, very expensive.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Uh, if
I
you've got those,
actually, oh, go ahead.
no, I was say if you've got those, then you're already a step ahead.
Yeah. Well, I actually I went to the range one day and I had some blue point or blue tips in my magazine, and I actually wasn't thinking, and I just was going through my muscle memory stuff and just put a few rounds down range and realized that I just fired all of my blue tips out
Yeah,
and was like, "Ha, that was like a $60 squeeze, man." Just
yeah,
it was just stupid, that's a what we call stupid tax. So um okay, so
that's
shotgun, clearly it's better. It's not going to penetrate through walls, but it will tear up. You get hit with a shotgun, especially double op buck, you're going to be, yeah, you're dead pretty much. You're going to bleed out.
right. You're
So
definitely going to have your mind changed, which is that's the biggest goal. You want to change their mind from what they intended to do to what they're
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Okay, all right. So say somebody gets in your house, you're in bed, you wake up, and you're trying to identify what are your steps? Like, what do? You hear something, that somebody, you hear the door breach, or you hear, and I don't mean like explosive breach charge. I just mean,
mhm,
they've muscled their way through, they've broken glass and turned a handle, but you've got somebody in your house now. What is your reaction? How do you react to that?
sure. Um, so again, this can go a thousand different ways. Here's my opinion on what I would do. Um, my dogs would have been when going crazy. Um, my dogs are in the bedroom with me, so
Yeah.
so everything's still inside my bedroom right now. Whoever is inside my house is somewhere other than my bedroom. I'm
Okay.
going to arm myself and with a flashlight and a weapon system. I'm going to open that door and I'm going to follow my dog, without a doubt. My
Okay.
dog is
Good
going to go
point.
straight to the problem.
Yeah.
He's going to direct me very quickly right to that problem. I don't need to see. I don't need to turn the lights on. I know the layout of my house, literally blindfolded, right?
Yeah.
Because I live here. So I'm going to follow the sound of my dog, and I'm going to go directly to the problem, wherever that problem may be, and um, I would likely give him the opportunity to leave. And if he
Okay.
didn't, or if he continued any type of violence whatsoever towards me or towards my dog, then I would handle business
Okay.
without second thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Man, that's a key point. When you talk about follow your dog, that's really, really good, good advice. That's one thing I've never really thought about, even though by instinct, my natural would be to figure out where the dog just went. Of course, my dog's gonna be a lot faster than me going
Right.
out, so I'm gonna have to have eyes on him. But that's excellent, excellent data point, man. Um, okay, so let me ask you: say they're in the house, they know that your dog's coming out, your dog's looking for them, they're trying to hide somewhere. How do you clear a room? How do you walk in and ensure that you don't just walk into a couple guys. How do you know if you've got more than one guy in there, right?
Sure. Clearing rooms, you never know. You never know what's on the other side. This being my house, I'm going to know the layout of that room. I'm going to know where a person can hide, or where they'll most likely be, that gives them what they think is the most advantageous view of the door that I'm about to walk in.
Yeah.
That's honestly, that's going to tell me a lot about what direction I go. On the SWAT team, you don't always get the opportunity to know the layout of the room that you're about to hit. So you have to literally fractions of a second make decisions, while you're going through the fatal funnel and all that. If it's in my house, I'm going to have a pretty good idea of where I'm going before I even breach that door whatsoever.
Okay.
And then at the same time, my dog's going to be leading the way. He's going to be chomping if he hasn't torn the door down already.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to take a room, then it's going to be fast and aggressive, without a doubt.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially in my house.
Yeah. Now, you typically, one thing that I've always been taught from a PPO perspective was you want to establish a command presence very quickly. So you're going to give audible commands to somebody. Maybe, if you see them, you got eyes on them, you're probably going to start to establish that command, right? So that if they do make a stupid move, you've given them every opportunity not to make that move, right?
Sure. So being armed, I would absolutely have lethal cover on this individual. And if I don't have to shoot, if I don't have to take a life, I'm not going to. I've already mentally prepared myself that if I have to, I will.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna think twice about it. But
Right.
if I don't have to, then I'm not automatically just going to run in and start shooting.
Okay.
I'm going to positively identify my target. If they're armed, then that automatically goes to the next level. And
Gotcha.
it's shoot before you get shot, basically.
Yeah.
If they're not armed, I don't know that they don't have a gun on.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah. You're good.
Sorry, am I still here?
Yep, you're
Yeah.
still here. It was just it went a millisecond gray for a second, and then you're back. So
Yeah, sorry, on my phone here. So I don't know that they're not armed if I don't see something in their hands, right?
yeah,
Could have a knife, could have a gun that I just don't know about. So I'm going to keep lethal cover on them, and I'm going to give them the opportunity to surrender. Okay, before I do anything aggressive, and if they're in a position of surrender, I'm gonna, as tactically as I can, make sure that they don't have a weapon on them. Okay, and that can be as simple as you keep trained on them, and say, lift your shirt and turn around. I want to see your waistband. I want to see, now lift your pant cuffs. I want to see your ankles. Okay, they're wearing a jacket, take the jacket off. Throw it on the ground here by me, while I'm still, while they're looking at the muzzle. They're going to hear my voice, but I want them to look at the muzzle of my gun. I want that to be the only thing that they can see, because that changes the whole dynamic of the conversation.
right.
If you're in my house, I'm in charge, without a doubt. You're not going to do anything that I don't agree to inside my own house, and I have a muzzle that's going to speak for me.
Gotcha.
And then I'm immediately going to call the police and say, hey, I've got some guy at gunpoint inside my house.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to wait it out. And if he gives me reason, if he attacks me, if he becomes aggressive at any point in that, I've already mentally made my mind up that I'm going to protect my house. For sure.
Okay. Now, let's get into a scenario where there's more than one. How do you position yourself, your body, to a point where you can make sure that you're not going to get, these guys aren't flanking you, or somebody's trying to make a slow move or position to where you could be compromised? How do you maintain that without giving up your command, right?
Sure. Distance is your friend at that point.
Okay.
Without the triangle method is what we use as police when we're trying to gain a suspect's control. Okay,
Okay.
control suspect. So if they're triangulating on me, I'm just going to back up. And
Okay.
so self-defense, the definition of self-defense is my back is to a wall, or I'm in a corner, I have nowhere to go, someone attacks me, I defend myself. That's like the legal definition of self-defense. So I'm not going to put myself in any position to where they can flank me or maneuver on me that they can get the advantage. There again, if I'm the only one with a gun, then they're going to do what I say for
Gotcha.
sure. But I'm also not going to let them get to my side or to flank me at all, or certainly not behind me. I'm never going to turn
Yeah.
my back. I'm always going to keep some type of angle or tactical advantage, distance wise, for
Gotcha.
sure.
Okay. Okay. Let's say you don't have a gun. They don't have a gun. You get into maybe some CQC, right? That close quarter combat kind of thing. What do you tell somebody that, what do you go for right out of the gate? If it's whether it's male or female, what are your thoughts in terms of the quickest way to just basically disable somebody, bring them to the knees and allow you time to escape or flee? What are your thoughts on that?
Sure. Personally, bones and joints. If I'm tangled up with someone, I'm going to try and break a bone as fast as I possibly can.
Okay.
The hands are notoriously easy to break.
Yeah.
So if they grab me in any part of my clothing, I'm immediately going to go for that thumb, and I'm going to try and break it as fast as I can. If I
Gotcha.
can't get the thumb, that little finger is gonna be broken, and I'm gonna try and bring it all the way back to their forearm.
Gotcha.
So, like I say, you got to change their mind. You got to
Yeah.
give them a reason to not do whatever it is that they're doing. The knees are notoriously easy, not easy. I don't want to say easy, but it's a target area for me,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Sideways, backways. It's
Yeah,
they don't bend that way, and like breaking a chicken leg, man,
yeah, and they support the weight. They support the next attack, or the knees will literally support forward movement. And if someone's moving towards me, I'm going to go straight for their knee.
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
know,
Eyes, gouge them,
oh yeah, absolutely.
can't see, they can't get their hands on you if they can't see, right?
Absolutely. I'm gonna try and put this knuckle into their eye cavity.
Yes.
You know, uh,
Yeah.
starting at the tip of my thumb. I'm gonna try and bury it.
Yes.
Just because it automatically changes. It changes their intention. Now I'm gonna try and stop this eyeball gouging.
Yeah.
And that gives you time to make another tactical advantage,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. We won't go into too much detail, but I know exactly what you're saying. So,
Yeah.
but
I'm trying to behave.
yeah, no, it's good. And it's anything and everything, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
if they're attacking you, then there are no rules of engagement at that point, right? You're gonna do what you gotta do to save you and your family. Um let me see. Without going into way deep stuff like hostage and things like that, if somebody were to get a hold of your family or something, that's we won't go into that one on this one, just because it's broad brush. You just never know.
Yeah.
Every scenario can change. And one thing I will tell people is if you don't have Law Shield insurance, if you're a gun owner, Texas Law Shield, it used to be called, but it's Law Shield now. It is. I have no skin in the game on this. They don't know me other than being a client. You definitely want that because you can make a phone call, and for my wife and I pay about $300 a year, and that's it. And if I got into an altercation or somewhere where I had to actually use my weapon, they basically provide representation, and there is no other cost to it. So it's a beautiful thing. So and I know you probably have the same thing,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm covered a couple different ways. So
Yeah, for
but
sure. So, okay, let's talk just quickly from the aspect alarm systems. What's door frames, alarm systems? What are your thoughts on that stuff?
yeah. We have an alarm system. I like having the alarm system. But I don't count on it to save my life, without a
Yeah.
doubt. That's up to me. I like having the alarm system if I'm not at home. I like having it more than if I'm at home.
Yeah.
Uh, if I'm traveling or if I'm away teaching for a week, whatever it might be, having the alarm on when I'm not here is a very big peace of mind for me, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I like in our last video you said basically dogs are better than alarms. They're just way
Hands down.
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I agree with that analogy. I'm not a big alarm proponent either. I can't tell you how many times I've set an alarm and somebody, if at first thing in the morning comes in the house and they set it off, and then
Yep.
you're scrambling trying to remember the code, and I forget what I have for breakfast. So when I'm trying to remember a code or a password or something, you just
Exactly.
I hate it, and I hate the noise because I've got tinnitus like nobody's business, and it just sets me off. But
Yeah.
doors, what are things people can do on door frames? I see so many door frames that are just like butter. They got a little tiny piece of wood that basically keeps the intruder from coming in if it's kicked. What are your thoughts on that?
Sure. Absolutely. And uh, I've tried to do this a lot in the past, but the longer, first of all, we'll just start with the screws. The longer the screws you can have to take your door frame into the frame of the house, the better.
Okay.
Okay. Now you also can find a way to, like you're talking about, where the deadbolts go through into the wood. On the backside of that, that's a quarter inch of door frame material, if
Yeah,
that.
made out of
Maybe.
birch.
Exactly. Which is very, very easy to break.
Yeah,
That's what's holding your door. That's what's holding your door, closed.
yeah,
So backing up that, enhancing that, however you want to do it, is how you can fix that. I used to take metal, the little flat piece of metal, and
yeah,
I would screw it into the inside of the door to where
yeah,
they could no longer kick that little bitty piece of wood. They would literally have to break this entire piece of flat wood that I affixed to the door frame, or
yeah,
the piece of metal,
yeah.
and then you would literally have to kick the entire frame out before you got that door open.
Wow. Okay, good.
Yeah, then you just take the longer lag bolt type screws, they're a couple inches long, and screw your door frame into the frame of the house.
Right.
You're, and there again, you're giving yourself time and making it very difficult and noisy for someone to break down your front door.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit in the last video about garage doors and people getting into your garage. That seems to be, I've heard people say a couple of different things, and I want to get your input on it. But I've heard people say, oh man, you just pull the red lever on your garage so that if your car's outside, that lever's down, the garage won't open it. Just, they can't open it. But then I know that that's really faulty, because you can still, if you got some strong dudes, they don't have to have that. You can, that red handle or not, they can muscle that door up and still get in, even if that red handle is pulled. Uh, what are your thoughts? Like, what are the do's and don'ts where you just go, hey, this is, what you want to do because it's too easy the other way?
Sure. Yeah, the garage doors are great. Don't get me wrong. They don't make the house very secure.
Yeah.
If someone's intent on getting in your house, they're gonna get in for sure.
Okay.
Um, I don't ever keep any weaponry, and I'll just use that word, firearms, in the garage ever.
Yeah. Ever.
First of all, those are all in a safe, but and like we said last time, you're given all the tools necessary to break into your house if someone gets in your garage. So what do we do? We have a plan. If someone gets in our garage, mine is I'm going to grab a firearm. If someone's in
Okay.
my garage, that is immediately, to me, I'm being attacked,
Okay.
because they have gone to the next level. They're inside my castle,
Yeah.
uh, and I'm going to. This is a life or death situation for me.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
I want to meet them inside my garage, the inside garage door. I want to meet them at that juncture with a weapon. If
Cody.
if they get that far, I should have a weapon in my hands, without a
Okay.
doubt. Now,
Gotcha.
and there's a lot of situations where they're already inside the house where, well, how did you get in my house? So having a mental plan, where am I my guns stationed.
Yeah.
I know exactly where my firearms are, and if someone has made it into my garage and then into my house, I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
luckily my dogs will tell me the second someone tries to open my garage door, which would give me the amount of time needed to grab said,
Yeah.
different item.
Yep.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
that's my
Now, is there anything they can do to keep people from getting in that garage door, from lifting it, whatever it may be? Are there any, I know some keypads will have a number thing on it that you can push that'll, if you just hold it for a second, it'll actually disable it so nobody can electronically get in your garage. A lot of different things.
Hmm.
I'm just asking, is there anything where you're like, yeah, that you can't get in that garage? It's just not going to
Sure.
happen.
It's been a while since the garage doors wasn't always standard, but they used to have a little lock, a little arm bar that you could
Yeah.
push through, wouldn't come up.
Yeah.
Uh,
I see that with
I
a
think,
lot of the third, like the third bay ones, the ones that have like the main
yeah,
and then a little side door. Those definitely, they got the little the handle you basically turn and it sends that bar into there. You're not getting that door up, but the
yeah,
big ones, I don't really ever see those
me neither.
on there anymore. They just seem to be all kind of set for that garage door for people to roll in with their smart cars and just hit a button and
Yeah.
roll in. So
Well, and some garage doors will open other garages.
yes.
I've heard of that too. I
Yeah.
haven't, um, but with signals, and I'm sure you can speak better on this than me. You just got to find the right signal, and if you
Yeah.
have a device that can
Yeah. Well, the
send different,
criminals today, they've got the tools to do that. Like they can even
yeah,
open your car doors.
exactly.
Like my car has a mechanism where I can, if I double punch it, it's literally you cannot, unless you have a fob in your hand, at the door, you can't get that door unlocked. It won't, there's
That,
nothing to bypass that. Most like the new cars, some of those will have that feature. And a lot of people don't even know that's how it works if you double pump it.
yeah,
Um, but yeah,
yeah,
they can go by. That's how my wife's pickup truck, they came by, basically had a fob thing and unlocked it remotely, got into the truck, and of course, the 9mm was in there. They grabbed that. Luckily, they didn't decide to come into the house, but they basically, they took the gun and left. But then later, we got the gun back, which is a miracle in and of itself, because now you got somebody that's got a gun that's registered in your name that they go out and commit a crime. But they ended up getting some dude from like I don't know, Nigeria or something, that was driving around illegally in the country, who had that weapon under his seat. And they recovered it and I got it back. But uh that's one of those deals that the codes now, that the electronics are to that point where they can sit in front of your house and basically run this little thing and get your codes to everything you got. So
yeah. It's definitely scary, um, and that's why I say you got to have a plan.
yeah.
What happens? You never want to be in that. Oh no, what should I do?
Yeah.
Mind frame. You should always
Gotcha.
be moving forward. We call it working in the SWAT world. You never stop and just oh, and you never have that decision making stop. You should
Right.
always be doing something, always working. That's
Gotcha. All right,
yeah.
good. Well, listen, we're at the bottom of the hour here. What's your any do's or don'ts? Anything we didn't cover? If you're like, oh, hey, this is very important. Anything we need to touch on?
Um, no, you just got to remember that this is your castle, and if someone's in your house, that they do not mean that they're not here for a conversation.
Gotcha.
Uh, you should always do what is necessary to preserve life inside your home, without a
Gotcha.
doubt. Yeah, this is
Copy
your
that.
castle. You got
All
to
right.
defend it.
Good. Yep. Amen to that. All right. Well, hey, listen, brother, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time today. And anybody else, you guys, if you want to reach out to Ben Redus, you can contact me and I'll screen you. If you are in need of some security training or anything like that, so you want to get familiar with your weapon, definitely this guy is one to pull in for sure. So again, brother, I appreciate it, man. It's all, as always, it's been real.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.